If you had to watch just one of my videos from start to finish, from now to the rest of the time, please let it be this one. It is genuinely the most fascinating, incredible story that I can think of in Scottish football in modern times. The football club that we're seeing today are the newest team in the Scottish pyramid system. Not only are they the newest team, but they have an almost completely brand new non-league stadium. A lot of football clubs that I see who get new stadiums in Scotland, they're either council owned, they get huge grants. I'm not saying this club haven't had any help, because they have, and we'll be getting into them a little bit later on. But like, for example, even like Edinburgh City, they play at Meadowbank. It's got a 4G pitch, it's got a running track, it's used for loads of other stuff, not just football. Whereas the team that we're seeing today are starting off in the bottom tier of the East of Scotland League. Maybe they'll one day work their way up to the Scottish Premiership, who knows, but they're working their way up from the bottom, from being an amateur side last year to being in the pyramid system this year. They have an amazing ground that is just used for their football team. Look at this. This is West Linton in the Scottish borders, not far from Edinburgh actually, but it's technically considered Scottish border region, even though we're fairly north compared to a lot of the other border football clubs that I've been to before. But it's just amazing how a small little place like this can have a new football club to the pyramid system and an almost completely brand new stadium as well. Now, I've been told that people who are in the know in this area, that this is the place to come. Jordan, yeah, just tell me a little bit about West Linton firstly, if you could.
West Linton's a small community. We're about 15 miles south of Edinburgh. It's grown significantly in the last kind of 10 years or so. There's a bunch of new developments kind of built out. They built a school on top of our football pitch because they had to make a bigger school, so the football club had to move out a little bit. But yeah, there's about, what is there? I think there's about 2,000 people. Roughly 2,000 people live in the village, so it's a decent size. Great kind of commuting place, because we're only 15 miles south of Edinburgh. You get to live in the country out here, but the 80% of the village will probably either work in Edinburgh, or you're an hour and 15 minutes to Glasgow, so you're not too far away at all. And
so the football club that's just down the road, why is it such a fascinating story?
So there's not, it's how it's grown. So I mean, the club was re-established 2008, and it's the levels that it's grown to without that kind of financial backer. You know, there's lots of clubs in Scotland now seem to have someone behind them. Things we have done everything from scratch. Everything comes from us doing a club dinners or doing fundraising or completely off our own back. Everything is done so, and we have an amazing community around here that people just love it. So we go from, we've got the senior team who are now in the East of Scotland divisions, but we've got right the way down to primary 3, I think it is, primary 4, that kids just love playing football, and that's what we do it for. We want the kids to enjoy football. We want
give them a pathway as well.
Give them a pathway, and that's what it's all about. And that was the point of moving to East of Scotland, to give the kids so the kids can see something, that there's an end game, that we want to target that. And
so your business is on the side of the...
Yeah, so we're the Pie at Deli. We're a little restaurant right in the middle of West Linton. They're one of 3 restaurants in the village.
How do businesses like yours and other businesses in the area help Linton Hotspur?
So we try and we help them out from a sponsorship point of view. I do all the after match catering for the players, for both sides of players. The guys get food after the games. We'll do food during the games, supply the pies. We'll supply things so the club can sell it on, try and fundraise a little bit. So my kind of side of things is all food. That's my role at the club. But there's a bunch of other businesses in the village. Some of them help out from a financial side of things. Some of them help out from a support side of things. That we all take one wee part each.
You would have seen some clips there as I was talking to Jordan just about like the village of West Linton, and like when I just walked around there as well. It's like taking a step back in time. It's such a nice little place. And yeah, the story about the football club is absolutely fascinating. We're going to go there in a second, but look at that. I've been given my bacon roll for the morning. Absolute legend. If you're ever in West Linton, make sure you check out the Pie. Anyway, let's head down to one of the most fascinating football clubs in Scotland. And this is the entrance to the football club. Look at this. We've got a little bench, a couple of kids playing football there. And look, New Moor Road, Linton Hotspur FC. Check this out, another sign here. Welcome to New Moor Road, home of Linton Hotspur Football Club. Look, Scottish FA, Linton Hotspur, welcome. And that is the view down to the ground. What a place, look at it. Let's get down there.
I'm Ivan McKenzie and I'm the Vice Chairman of the club.
I get a lot of requests from people up and down the country telling me to go to certain clubs or to cover certain teams. I've had almost more requests to come here than anywhere else recently. Why do you think there's so many people telling me to come to this football club and make a video here?
I don't know where to start, to be honest. It's been a phenomenal kind of journey since we joined the league, got accepted back in the summer. And from there, the interest is, we've just been blown away from messages, social media, ground hoppers, and you name it. It's just been an amazing journey. We've got so much more to do. Our crowds are big. We've got community support. Everyone wants to help out as a volunteer. It's just been fantastic all round.
And am I right in saying you are the first, or you're the newest football club in the pyramid system this season? You're the only one accepted, is that right?
Yes, that was right. Yeah. So
what goes into that process?
A lot of hard work. We are fortunate. We've got a committee with a really good kind of skill set. One being a construction manager, a surveyor, and
so it's all come together quite nicely.
It's all come together very nicely. It's cost a huge amount of money. We've still got a lot to do still, but we got accepted for the criteria.
Amazing.
For the league.
And I can see on your badge there, re-established 2008. Usually most clubs have established and then their date.
Yeah.
You've had quite the past, haven't you, as a football club? Can you just explain a little bit of the journey from the very early days to where you are now? Yeah,
so just the club dates back to around sort of 1928. It disbanded in the 70s, and the last game was against Ferrante FC, who went on to be Meadowbank, and then obviously Livingston.
Yeah, so a Premiership team now. So the last game of the original football club was against who are now the team that are now Livingston.
Yes, it was a heavy defeat, so maybe that was just that was it.
How funny is that though, that the original club suffered a big defeat against Livingston, who are now in the Premiership, and now you've restarted the club and you're trying to work your way up from the bottom. This is your first ever season in the pyramid system.
Yeah.
That the team that originally beat you are now in the Premiership. It's funny how football works.
No, absolutely. I think on day one, we wanted to get a team set up, which we did, and and throughout the years, it's just been a journey, and we've always kind of grown, and we are here today, with big plans still for the future.
And so this time last year, you were an amateur team.
Yes, yeah.
And then now you're fully fledged part of the Scottish pyramid system.
Yeah, just mental. There's absolutely no words to describe it. So much to learn, so much to do on a daily daily basis. The admin side as well, and the rules. Dealing with Hampden direct. There's just so much. Lots to learn, but really enjoying the journey so far.
So this is the home dressing room that we're in right now.
Yep.
How are the squad getting on this season? How's the transition been from amateur to the East of Scotland League?
It's been hard. We brought in a new manager at the start of the season. He started a guy called Chris King, sort of ex-junior, good player back in the day, ex-Newton Grange star manager. So he's brought a lot of really good high standards into the club overall, training and everything else, and we've been a bit unfortunate this season, the results haven't gone our way. That comes to experience. He is bringing new players in, and as a committee we have no doubt that results will come. But we're under no illusion. This season's all about sort of learning and building for next season, I guess.
And the pyramid system itself, what are your thoughts on especially from like League Two to Lowland League and maybe East Premier to Lowland League and that kind of stuff. There's a lot of like promotion playoffs and bottlenecks and stuff. What do you think about that?
There is, yeah. You know, I think for us, we haven't thought about that. You know, there is so much from a club perspective what we need to do on a daily basis on a match day. What we actually have to do. We don't just rock up at 1 o'clock. You know, we have a full match day squad that'll set everything up. Even with away, you know, we get there before the team arrive and set everything up. So
doing everything properly, professionally and stuff.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Nice. Standards have always been like that, even in amateur, and we'll continue to do it. You know, yes, in years to come, yes, it would be nice to go up and beyond these playoffs. But you know, and I think we will. You know, we will find our level at some point. So that was where the primary school was.
So that's when the club reformed.
Yes.
In the early days, and that was a home game, you say?
That was a home game,
but you didn't play here.
I can't remember if I'm just going with Peebles because that was our first game.
Yep.
But we had a crowd of about 340.
Wow. Okay.
I'm sure I counted 400. So.
But this ground that we're in now is completely new, right?
Yes.
Which you don't see a lot of in the non-leagues of Scotland. You don't see many completely new grounds, which I'm amazed. I'm really excited.
We've been playing here a wee bit since 2011. We had our porter cabins back from the school. We had them away up here.
Okay.
So there was a bit of flat land and we had to build facilities down. So we have been playing here a while.
Yeah, this is amazing to see a facility like this. A lot of clubs, and I was saying this to you inside off camera, a lot of clubs that move to new stadiums, or maybe they're ground sharing and they're sort of newer clubs and they're trying to find their way in the pyramid system, sort of move up through the leagues or whatever. They're ground sharing at places that maybe have running tracks, or they have 4G pitches, or they have council-owned grounds. How did this ground come to be? Because you don't see many new non-league grounds built specifically for football.
Well, no fault of our own, to be honest. We've moved 3 times since we reformed back in 2008 or 2009, and it was always the blueprint to have our own facilities. And we're just really unfortunate to get the facilities we've got, and you know there is a lot more to kind of come in terms of another full-size pitch, artificial pitch as well, and then obviously floodlighting with that. But with that comes a lot of money, let's say.
I bet, yeah. And so you lease the ground for £1 a year on a 99-year lease, right?
For 99 years, yeah.
So how do the technicalities of something like that work for a club like yours?
I'm not actually sure if we've actually paid that bounce.
Right, okay.
It's one of these sort of old gentleman agreements, let's say.
So
we're permanent.
Somebody within the village sort of almost donated the land to the club, right?
That's right, yeah.
And look at this, look at the view you get here.
Yeah. So our old facilities were just up there. See all these sort of sheds? So we had old porter cabins up there.
Okay, right, yeah.
And we had a pathway coming down.
Right.
Before we had the roads built.
Now look at this.
Facilities.
The most rural ground. I've been to a lot of rural grounds, but
it's not that. But a lot of people come from Edinburgh and thought, we thought this was going to be take ages. It's really not that.
It's not far at all. No.
This is our sort of new hospitality bit.
Okay.
So we've got a wee bit to do on this.
When will this be ready? When can the people watching this video come and get in the hospitality suite when they want to?
Depends on our head groundsman getting his finger out.
Okay. The pressure's on. So we're in the brand new stand.
Yep.
Again, you don't see many brand new stands. Where did the seats come from? Where did the building come from? How did it all come together?
Through sort of our kind of network, to be honest. I think obviously we hit COVID at the time where we started to build the stand where it is now. But through the network we have, colleagues that work in similar sort of industries that provided most of the material. It was always kind of a bit of a pipe dream, let's make a stand. I didn't think it would probably happen. Certainly not my skill set, but we've got people in the committee that are fairly handy. Nice.
And you had the time to do it throughout COVID as well. So
yes, we did.
As negative as COVID was, there's a positive that you had the time. And
well, that's it. I think everyone was in a bit of a limbo at the time, and the opportunity to build and get the material came to to us, and we thought, bugger it, let's just
Why not?
say.
And so the capacity of this stand, you say, is 66, you think?
6, don't quote me on that.
We might have to count the seats in a minute. But do you get, so of the fans that you get then, where can they stand during a match day? Because I don't see railings behind the goal. I guess they can't go behind the goal, but...
Yep. So they come in the stand. This stand is usually quite full on a match day. And then obviously you've got the club rooms, and a lot of people kind of congregate kind of that side. But you can go all the way around. We do put barriers all the way up.
Okay.
They're obviously just at the side for grass cutting purposes.
Also, you could stand all the way around.
Yeah, and then obviously we put the barriers in there, and then we've got the standing area over there, which we've obviously called the coop.
Okay, the coop. Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, he was a former Hotspur back in the day. Sadly, sort of passed away 4 years ago. We actually have a day for him every year at the club, which is happening on Saturday. So we've got a lot of family and friends coming along and celebrate his life. You know, he was a bit of a legend back in the day.
Behind this stand then, there's room to create another football pitch.
There is, yeah. We've kind of planned it out, as well as a kind of artificial pitch at that side as well for sort of winter training, because we do kind of struggle. And when sort of winter does come, you know, weather comes along with it. So
for the size of the club you are, it seems like you're in an amazing position. Just a lot of the clubs that I visit either don't own their ground, or they've not got much space, or they're struggling to find places to train. The future looks fairly bright for you in that regard.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't stop. You know, we're always doing something. You know, just looking at new initiatives to take the club forward and stuff. We've always been kind of like that from when we, you know, formed in 2008. You know, we really just haven't looked back, and there's a lot more to come.
Right at the start of this video, when I said this was like the most interesting, fascinating story that I could sort of think about in modern day football in Scotland, I wasn't joking. I wasn't just saying it for the video. I can't think of a team that I visited in Scotland, in all my hundreds of videos and hundreds of stadiums that I've been to, that have a story like that, where they have a new non-league stadium with the club that is having their first ever season in the Scottish football pyramid. I know there's so much money in football, especially up the top of it. Saudi Arabia, Manchester City, Newcastle, Chelsea, Roman Abramovich, I know he's not there now, but just historically, and like just all the money that's flying around in football. Even the Scottish Premiership can't keep up. You know, there's teams like St Johnstone and Livingston who have very, very limited player budgets. So to see a team in the East of Scotland League Division 3, the 9th tier, as low as you can go in the East of Scotland, develop a stadium the way they have. Okay, they've had help from local businesses and local people helping them out with the land and with the stands and stuff, but every club in the non-league has to sort of pull on its resources and its people that it knows in order to like function and stuff. It's just absolutely insane that there's like a new stadium and it's built for football. It's not like it's been like Edinburgh City, built for other things, and then football's almost sort of like a second thought. That is a little football ground that's been built and newly renovated into what you see today, and hopefully in 5-10 years time they can move up the divisions and we'll see new stands and more fans, and yeah, maybe one day we'll see Linton Hotspur of West Linton play in European football in front of 50,000 people at their new little ground. But it was amazing driving out here, the location that it's in, the people that are there, the businesses that rally around the football club to keep it going. It's heartwarming. It's what it's all about, and it's what Scottish football should all be about. And I always say to people, if football organisations put a 1% tax on transfer fees or agent fees and took that 1% tax and like handed it out to all these small clubs, then football would be better all around the world. It genuinely would be. But yeah, it's down to like the volunteers and people that keep these clubs going that is so fascinating to me. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video looking at the newest stadium and the newest club in Scotland. I'm not 100% sure what I'll title this video. It could be something along those lines, but certainly one of the most fascinating stories that I've been able to look into in my times covering Scottish football. So make sure if you're ever in and around this area that you come and see them play. They're the love your support, I'm sure. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to leave a couple of videos on screen. If you could click on one to carry on watching, it would make my day. Thank you so much, and goodbye.